Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist weaponizes your words against you. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So, your words, these are things that come out of your mouth. These are your expressions, your thoughts, your experiences. It's when you're using words, you are communicating with another individual. First of all, the narcissist does not like to communicate. We know that by now. They like to withhold information. They like to keep secret groups of people that you don't know about. They like to work in mystery and a shroud of unknowingness. This is exactly how the narcissist works. Remember, that's why so many times in the relationship, you're introduced to people and the narcissist will say to you, "You remember so-and-so, don't you?" And you're like, "No, I have no idea who this is. And why are you so close to them? Why are you showering them with affection like we're married?" Things like that. Point being, the narcissist does not want to share much information with you throughout the relationship. We know that now. But yet, what do they expect? They expect you to share virtually everything about yourself to them. Let's go back in the beginning to the beginning of the relationship. When you first met them, how did that go? That's right. That was a reconnaissance mission they were doing with you. They were trying to figure out what made you tick, who you actually were, what your dreams and aspirations were, your goals, your plans, your past relationships, your business, your network. They wanted to know everything about you as quickly as they possibly could to figure out if you would be the next new supply. In other words, the next person they would be extracting from. Lo and behold, you shared most of everything I just mentioned with the narcissist, possibly even more. Perhaps you fell in love with them or got into a business arrangement with them, moved halfway around the world, and boom, you're now entrenched in a narcissistic relationship. Now, throughout this relationship, most of it was spent in the devaluation stage or the narcissistic fog, where you could do no right. You didn't know if you were coming or going. You didn't know what was left or right or up or down, or you didn't have any idea, because remember, your purpose in the narcissistic relationship was to serve the narcissist. It wasn't to build a future together. It wasn't to have a kind, loving, stable, healthy relationship. It was quite the opposite. You were being used and manipulated as a pawn, as someone to be abused behind closed doors, and many times also in front of other individuals. You were being the person who was expected to tolerate the poor behavior. You were the person who became an extension of the narcissist. You're the person who lost your identity. You're the person whose resources were drained financially, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, physically. So many ways did you have your resources taken from you. Now remember, when you're in the relationship, you thought that perhaps it was a reciprocal relationship, which means that both of you were on the same path, headed in the same direction. Nothing could have been further from the truth. The truth is you kept your word and you were working towards the goals and building, while the narcissist was looking for your replacement and tearing things down. That's for a different video. How the narcissist weaponizes your words against you is just this. What they did is they paid attention to all of the information you shared with them. And believe me when I tell you, they have a memory like a steel trap. They remember virtually everything you share with them, and they conveniently, play this again please, they conveniently forget what they don't want to remember. So many times you will call the narcissist out and you will say, "Hey, what's going on here? You said A, B, and C." And they're like, "No, I didn't say that." They know exactly what they said. They just didn't want to do it, or they wanted to have you asking about it, so they didn't do it. The examples go on and on and on, but how the narcissist weaponizes your words against you. Let's say you shared some intimate details about yourself. Let's say your childhood or your past relationships or business aspirations, things like that. These will come up down the road. The narcissist will bring these up, and they will either change the narrative, meaning number one, they could easily take your ideas for their own if it's business. It happens all the time. Number two is they can put you down. In other words, they can say to you like, "Okay, well, I think I'm gonna excuse me, pardon me. Thank you very much for saying that." So the point is when they do that, what they're saying to you is if it's a business idea, they can easily take that and claim it for their own. Happens all the time. Other things are if you shared intimate details about, let's say, your upbringing, like your parents and your siblings and things. That's why they wanted to get to know your parents and or your siblings. Why? Because they wanted to plant seeds of doubt with the information you already shared about them onto you. In other words, let's say that you have a couple brothers and sisters and perhaps you aren't as close as you could be. Well, that's just the way it is. Not everyone is super close. But the narcissist did their homework on this and they figured it out. What did they do? Many times they befriended those individuals and got really close to them to learn more information about you and weaponize it against you at a later date. This is what they do. And remember, most people that meet the narcissist, number one, they don't know what a narcissist is. Number two, they fall for the mask just like you did. And number three, they overshare. That is a huge thing. That's what the narcissist is banking on. They're banking on individuals oversharing information about anything that is pertinent to them or anything that can benefit the narcissist either now or in the future. But again, let's say you're having a conversation with this person who turns out to be a narcissist, and the conversation escalates rather quickly, as they usually do the longer the relationship goes on. Remember, when you were in the relationship in the beginning, you most likely didn't have any arguments or heated conversations, did you? Of course you didn't, because the narcissist was on their best behavior. They were trying to get that wedding ring placed on their finger. They were trying to have you sign the business agreement. They're trying to figure out a way to get you to co-sign the loan with them, etc. All of these things is what the narcissist wanted to do with you to get you trapped and tied and connected to them. Financial abuse is a huge thing. Future faking is another thing. There are so many layers of the onion to peel back, but the point is, in the beginning, it was all unicorns and rainbows. I'm sure it was. Then once you professed your love for this individual who turned out to be the narcissist, or you signed on the dotted line, etc., that's when the devaluation stage began, and that's when these conversations would happen more and more, and you would experience rage fits or blame shifting or arguments out of the blue for simple little things, very little things, like let's say you had to pick up the narcissist at 5 o'clock and you were 3 minutes late. Well, that's the end of the world. You were supposed to be there at 4:30 waiting, wasting your time waiting for the narcissist. You can't be 3 minutes late. How dare you? Things like that. And if you know what I'm talking about, drop comments below. Getting back on track with this, these are the things the narcissist will weaponize against you at a later date. They will bring up things from the past, maybe from yesterday, maybe from 2 years ago, maybe from the day you met them. They will bring up random things that mean absolutely nothing to you. And you're like, well, wait, that spilled glass of chocolate milk on Christmas Eve in 2003, that really didn't do anything, but you keep bringing it up. What's going on there? What's going on there is they are trying to take you back in time. They're trying to plant more seeds. And they're trying to weaponize actions that you did or did not do in the past against you today. Think about it. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to confuse you. Many times when you're having a conversation with the narcissist and it starts off one way and let's say you're in the devaluation stage again, and it escalates to a 10. Like the conversation goes from a 1, which is a quiet, healthy, stable relationship, to a 10 when you're being screamed at or experiencing a rage fit, because that's what the narcissist does whenever they don't get their way. But when that happens, that's when usually these words will be weaponized against you. Not always, but many times, because the narcissist can't control the mask any longer, and they're looking for an intentional argument, and they're looking to take it out on you, and you have no idea what's going on. Perhaps, let's take an example with today. Let's say perhaps the narcissist, hypothetically, you're with the narcissist and you were late to pick them up. Well, if you were late to pick them up, what happened? You're late. Okay, things happen. Maybe you had you got stuck in traffic a little bit. That's not how the narcissist sees it. They see it that you should have been early. You should not have been stuck in traffic. You should have figured out the way to get there, and that this now will become an issue for you later in the evening. Because why? Because now they have a tiny little match, a match to ignite a flame to create an issue with you. And this is exactly how they will weaponize words against you. They could say things like, well, you took this street, you should have taken that street, or why didn't you do this? You should have done that. This is why any relationship with a narcissist, it is debilitating, it is trying, it is confusing, it is a one-way relationship to destructionsville, meaning you can't make sense out of these conversations with these individuals. Yes, there are some good moments, absolutely, completely agree, but the good moments are so few and far between, and the toxicity of the relationship and the weight of the relationship placed on you to be a servant to the narcissist, it's not sustainable. It sincerely isn't, and you don't understand what you're up against, most likely because you are isolated, or you were isolated. You didn't have the education on the narcissistic abusive cycle. You didn't know that people like this are all over you, meaning people that don't have your best interest at heart. They are playing mind games with you. They're trying to keep you doubting yourself. They're weaponizing your words against you. Another one, let's talk about this for a moment. You are with a healthy or stable individual in a relationship, your friends, and you guys have a falling out or a disagreement. What usually happens there? What happens there, my hope is at least, is that after a little bit of time passes, maybe a couple hours or a day or even a week, who knows, but that one of you two says, hey, you know, maybe I made a mistake, I apologize, let's just work through it and agree to disagree, and let's just maintain the friendship. That's beautiful, that's healthy, that's empowering, that's courageous, that's being self-aware. That's what relationships should be built on. Now, when you're in the narcissistic relationship, does that happen? No. If you have a argument or a heated conversation, there will never be closure from that conversation. You need to get this message right now. You will never be told you're right. Things will not improve. They will bring up that argument at a later date and take you back in time to that argument or conversation. That's why these relationships are extremely challenging. Think about it. Every time you had a heated conversation or an argument with the narcissist, did it ever get resolved? Of course not. The narcissist most likely either disappeared or put their hands over their ears like they don't want to hear it, or they out-screamed you. In other words, they just raised their voice and interrupted you so many times you just got frustrated. You said, oh my gosh, I can't even deal with this. That's all on purpose. The point is that allows them to be inaccountable and to not have to introspect and to not have to take responsibility for their poor behavior or for their poor viewpoints, whatever it is, or maybe it's both. Understand this. This is why when you're in a relationship with the narcissist and they are yelling at you or screaming at you, or you're experiencing rage fits or outlandish, poor, toxic behavior, you need to hang up the phone. You need to get out, take a walk. You need to remove yourself. You need to not absorb that negative energy for one more second than you have been doing it in the past. Because every narcissistic relationship, remember, it has an expiration date, but also the longer you're in these relationships and you tolerate the poor behavior displayed by the narcissist, the more you are not living your best life. The more you are just put on the sidelines and you are used and abused continuously. And the narcissist knows this, and they know that they have somebody at home or wherever you are, maybe it's the business workplace, that they can take it out on. In other words, take out all of their lack of regulation out on somebody else. That's what they do. That's why the path is to go no contact, block these individuals, remove all people and or flying monkeys associated with them, and heal properly. And in time, in your time, you will heal when you take the action and you understand that this is going to be a long road ahead, but it starts with one simple step. Let's take that back. Not one simple step. It starts with one step, which is you needing to take action. If not now, when? So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And no matter what's happening, understand the narcissist will weaponize your words against you. That's why the path ultimately is to share zero information with these individuals. Not your hair color, not who you're dating, not what your latest job is, not where you're living, anything. That's the path. If you can't do that right now, I would strongly suggest you gray rock and minimize what you share with them. And again, if you're experiencing rage fits or really toxic, poor behavior, like you're being screamed at, or silent treatment, or all these things, remove yourself if you can. Understand this, if you can, because you deserve to be living your best life. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that. God bless you. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye. Maybe actually today, I think I may have a special surprise for you guys. There could be 2 beautiful dogs in the next video if I do one today. All right, I love you guys. Bye.